married my sister, now we're living together.
Roommates in law.
Roommates in law.
Hello, Timothy. We are not brothers.
Not roommates in law.
we're not roommates.
Not in-laws.
Or in-laws, yeah, but we are.
Or roommates.
No.
We are.
Good friends.
Speaking of.
We're great friends. I will say this. I have said on multiple occasions on this podcast that we will never have our good friend and great comic, Alex Dragicevich, as a guest.
Drago, you don't know this, but Tom has probably said this upwards of 13 to 14
Anytime
times.
I mention you on the pod, it is that we would never have you as a guest. But I'm eating my words today.
I was always in
gentlemen.
your corner, Dramore. We're getting Alex on. He's gonna be on the pod.
I'm trying to find like the laugh in the bit, like where how come you guys don't want me on? How come you guys didn't want me on?
No,
Probably,
I
that's
would
a
love
great
to have you
example
on.
right there of why
yeah.
Tom didn't want you on. You've been on for 10 seconds. You're already taking a dump on what we're doing
kind
here.
of bombing, aren't I?
Now I kind of
why
agree with
didn't
Tom.
you want me on the pod?
Yeah, let's circle back, dude. I'd love to have you on the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Now I'm
welcome
on the
to
pod.
Roommates in Law.
Oh,
Cheers.
what are you sipping
Come
on?
on.
Good to have
3
you.
screwies.
Couple screwdrivers.
You said, "Hey, Drago, I didn't want you on the pod." I said it 15 times. What did you want me to say? Thanks.
yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for coming around.
It was a bit that was funny to no
great.
one.
Yeah,
but me.
Yeah,
And
you could have left me out of it.
Yeah, we definitely could have.
You could have said, "Thanks for doing this," and I would have been like, "No problem, man. No problem, dude."
Looking for the laugh here. That's fine, but we got our big tall friend. We got him in a small seat, so we look like normal human beings.
Here I
kinda
am.
fun.
Yeah.
Welcome to
great.
Bleecker Street Studios.
This is not Drago. Drago and I have been neighbors for upwards of 7 months, and we had a little dinner soiree over here the other night. He's like, "Yeah, they tossed me that address." I sent it to him. He texts me 3 hours later. He goes, "Dude, we live like 4 minutes away from each other."
4 blocks. Like,
Is
it's-
it legitimately
it's like,
4 blocks?
It's like
Yeah.
I walked here in like 2-3 minutes, dude.
Whoa.
If I really got a hold of like a 6-iron, I could hit his apartment.
he really
If
connected
I
with
really got one.
it. Yeah. Well, you don't have a 6-iron because you lost it. Matt Kennedy.
I
stole
believe
it.
Matt Kennedy still. Well, he pawned it for $8 so he could buy a new bomber jacket. Good friend Matt
No, yeah,
Kennedy. He'll
this
never
is-
do the pod.
I can't believe I hadn't been here before. You really live close. It's awesome.
Yeah, Bleecker Street. Not a bad location. I'm happy to be back. This is our first live pod in a long
In
time.
a long time. Cheers to the boys, and we had
Feels
to get our
good.
good friend Drago on. You should have seen our text messages today. It
Had
almost
to.
ruined our friendship
It was kind of electric. Yeah, I mean, I was like I don't know that word.
vehemently.
What is it?
Vehemently.
Vehemently?
Vehemently.
Tom, didn't you go to like a? Aren't you like a well-educated man?
I mean, I went to Notre Dame, but so did this guy.
Oh, see? Well, you know what? I'm on Drago's team now. You're tossing him heat for no reason.
I don't know why.
Drago, I
like
didn't want
creating
you
a
on the
little-
pod.
But Drago was there for
I
an
wanted
actual
you on the
reason.
pod.
Drago had a real skill that he brought to the university.
I know. I did
Oh,
not. I snuck in,
yeah.
basically. I really contributed nothing to that school.
Oh, God. So, Drago, really all we do here is if you have any fun stories, if you have anything you've experienced throughout
the
your
last-
week, we
yeah.
like to talk about it and chop it up.
It's a week recap.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
And well, I guess we should get to know you, though. We should have everyone get to know you. Can you give us like your elevator pitch of who you are?
I've been friends with these guys for about 5, 6, 7 years now. We came up together. Tommy came in a little bit after
A
us.
little late.
We showed him the ropes, and now we're friends for life.
Showing him the ropes in Chicago, we're like, right over there's the Laugh Factory. And then if you go over on Wells, that's Zany's.
And then within 3 months, he was like, "Do you want to do my show at the Laugh Factory?" I was like, what the hell? I was
So
like,
what the fuck happened?
yeah.
Drago really was. You kind of took me under your wing way long because we've talked about this before. Tim hated me a lot right
Oh.
away.
I don't know if it was a hate. It was a healthy, I didn't think you were going to
Disdain?
be around in 4 days.
Yeah.
What did you? What were some of?
Well,
his?
he was really, I mean, and you could probably attest to this. At first, it was Tommy was LinkedIn Tommy.
Yes.
Corporate Tom?
Tommy was a guy that lost his fantasy football league, and he was coming to do stand-up.
Yeah.
I didn't do that though.
But that was the...
But that was the vibe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first we met at that show in the basement of Beer Miscuous, the Love Below.
Love Below.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
You two?
brought like 10 people to that show.
Why?
I don't know.
Like,
It was
this
like
is-
it was one of like the first bar shows I got booked on. So I was like, I'm doing a really good show.
You've never been shy about bringing people to shows.
No,
and
I don't know why.
I'll never understand it. I highly respect it.
Yeah.
I don't
We'll never
really.
understand
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Have you ever bombed, like truly bombed in front of like dear friends and family?
It happened at the Laugh Factory as part of that whole Verified Laughs competition in like the annual championship. I kind of ate.
How big was the crowd?
Sold out.
300?
300. And
Nervous?
I had about 285 of them.
Friends and family?
No, I probably did know like 30 people there though, at least.
All right, so what's
Really?
the vibe? After you
Yeah.
bomb in front of your coworkers, you show up to work on Monday. Are people saying, "Hey, there's a lot of
They still.
that was fun"?
It,
Thanks for
it still was like exciting to them.
okay.
You know.
They thought they were really seeing something.
Yeah, I guess.
I have a
don't
way
know.
worse story, I think.
Yeah, tell it.
I
please.
got asked to do this. Like they used to have this thing called like 30 minutes at like the Flatiron Theater. Do you remember that? Do you remember that place?
Oh, the
It was like a Milwaukee or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, you do 30 minutes. They like film it professionally, and apparently it was like a fucking heater of a room. You bring it in. It's like so. I just said so. I talked to like 2 or 3 people, and they all were like, "Yeah, dude." Like a bunch of people came out. And I was like, "Oh, great." So I'm like, if a bunch of people come and I tell a bunch of friends, it's gonna be standing room only. I'm gonna look like a celebrity. It's gonna be the best thing. 3 years in, I'm doing 30 minutes.
what was yours called? It was called like here's the 30.
30 big ones.
30 big ones. Yeah, I remember that.
And I do the show. I get there, and like I literally tell everyone, and I walk out. There's 40 people in the audience, and it's literally my friends. It's my friends. I know every single one. I know all of them. And I have Lael and Chris open the sets. So Lael goes up and like slaughters. And then Higgins goes up and fucking slaughters. And then I go up and they all like know me. They all, I talk about like, any sex joke I had, and they're just like,
There's this girl in there like, I think that one's about me.
yeah, like
Yeah.
my sister was my sister was there. She's like, this sucks.
She's like, lie.
It was so
Lie.
it was just so awkward and tense, and everyone was just looking at each other like, is it really just us? Like it was so wildly embarrassing just to be like, everyone's kind of looking at each other like, you could just tell, like people were walking in, like hugging each other. Like it was like it could have been.
It could have just been a hang.
Dude, it could have been. It
Yeah,
could have
'cause
been
it's
my
like, oh, we're
fucking
here.
funeral,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
It kind of was.
like and it really like that's what it could have been. Like is he like that's what they only those people that's what they would have been together for.
Oh,
my funeral and some terrible. So it was so awkward and bad that I had just got like obliterated, and I got so drunk. And it was like one of
How
those
long into the set were you like, this is not going the way I hoped it would?
2 minutes, dude. Because also it was the winter time, and it had like an uneven heater, heat system.
Oh, that's an old building.
So it was old, and it was like so fucking hot. And of course, like everyone's in there for like 10, 20 minutes. So for like Lael and Higgins set, like no one's like really sweating yet. You know what I'm saying? Like it's early in the show.
This is what you tell yourself to sleep at night after
Yo,
this.
yeah. I'm like, well, of course they're not better than me, but like, no, but like,
Just the temperature of the room was perfect.
Yeah, I don't
during their
know.
set.
Like they absolutely destroyed. Temperature was off. when I
Andy
was up
Fleming
there.
hosted. They were like loving Andy Fleming, and Andy's the man. So it's like, so for like 30, 40 minutes, the show's going, and it's going like pretty well, but like, I can hear the laughs are like, even for like everyone before me's biggest pops, it was still like a huh or whatever. And I'm just like, like they must be waiting for me,
You're like, damn, wait for this shit. Cut to like minute 18, and you're like, is it getting hot in here?
I knew this place had an uneven heater. Fuck.
Dude,
Riffing on the heat.
I literally, I swear to God, during Higgins' set, I asked one of the guys, I was like, you guys like crack a window or something like that? Like, what about the window? He's like, can't, dude. It gets really cold outside. We're not going to crack a window. I was like, yeah, you probably good point.
It's the dead of winter.
Right,
in
right.
Chicago.
Yeah.
So-
Negative 8 degrees outside.
It was just like, it's just looking at, doing stand-up for your friends is already...
It's impossible.
If there was 30 people in a 300-person crowd, like
That's one thing.
That's one thing. But dude, doing it for those 30 people, it was...
I mean, you got to be able to lie.
What?
On stage.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be able
get-
to like say some shit that's not true because they don't know who you are.
And it feels weird doing
Yeah.
that in front of people who've
know
known you
that
for
that's
like
a
10
lie.
years.
Tim just saying you got to be able
Yeah.
to lie. I was like, Wait a minute.
Just
Like,
in
where
general?
would I lose this? Like, where am I? I'm lost.
No, you mean
But
This
you're
is
right.
not a confusing thing.
No, you're right.
They all
No,
know
you're
you.
right.
They're going, no.
No.
Dad didn't
Oh.
say that.
Yeah.
You didn't date that girl. That's your friend's story, actually.
That's me. That was
yeah.
my abortion.
No.
It was one of those where you're like one of those bombs where you just like you're on the sidewalk like 3 days later and it just like hits you like it slaps you in the face and you're like oh my god I ate it in front of every friend I've ever had.
Well, you
know
have
what I'm
that sick feeling in your stomach, and you're like, why do I feel terrible? And you're like, oh, that's right. I bombed in front of all of my friends and family.
It was
no less than 48 hours
and
ago.
my
remember.
sister. That was the thing too. My sister had like never seen me do stand up before.
So that was
it
the
was
big,
like, and I was like, dude, she's gonna come see me at the Flatiron, and it's gonna be so packed. She's gonna have trouble getting in, because that's what everyone was telling me. And then she shows up, with like everyone that I went to high school with, and they're like, "Oh, excited for the show," and I'm like, "It's just you guys right now." It's just like, dang.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad one.
That
I don't
is-
know.
that
That
is
being said,
literally
Alex is
my
headlining
nightmare.
Zanies next month. Go out, so it's not just his friends.
all of his friends and family. Will
Yeah,
be
that
there.
might happen again. It might happen again.
No, it'll be. They sell a lot of tickets on their own. That's the only way I had anybody in there. And thank God the venue sells.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
you're a draw, dude. Don't let anyone tell you anything.
Shut the fuck up, Tom.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not really. Never mind.
dude. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's a Monday, so as long as they get like 20 tickets sold, I think I'll be
Dude,
all
you're
right.
gonna
They
you're gonna
they
pack
sell
it out.
more than
Yeah.
that.
It's gonna
for
be
sure.
great.
Yeah.
It'll be a bunch of fun.
Well, Tim, where were you at this weekend? You got any things going on?
You know what? I had a nice little time. We had a little friend dinner recently. You remember that, Drago?
Absolutely.
Made a little meal, had the boys over. We haven't had the fellas over to Bleecker Street Studios
It's interesting.
yet.
You did it a couple days before I got to town.
That was a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
See, Tom, this is me lying.
This
on
is you
stage.
lying. It was a couple days ago.
It was actually
8
everybody
days ago.
cleared out 8 minutes before you got here. I was like, Drago, look, walk out and then walk back in like
Just
you
say
weren't
you
already
lived
here.
really
Yeah.
close.
Yeah, last Sunday it was great.
Last Sunday, had the fellows over. We haven't done that since Chicago.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have everybody over, shove a little food in their mouth,
What'd you make?
talk a little
Gumbo?
shit. We made a brajol. We made it's a nice little Italiano dish.
Okay.
Was that Matt's doing?
Uncle Matt, that was he tossed in but we do a big brajol. That's my dad's big Christmas meal.
Yeah.
We do brajol every year. We do gnocchi every year. We do all this shit. And so we tossed it together for the boys. People brought it. Drago, I would say, you got to toss some props over at Drago. Only one that showed up prepared.
What'd you bring?
I brought charcuterie and
Oh.
I brought chips and hummy
Yes.
and I brought
That's hummus.
vodka and vodka orange juice. So I brought vodka.
He showed up with he was an
Yappies.
adult.
Did you do the screwdriver bit?
Still haven't forgiven him for the screwdriver bit.
Hold on,
Never
hold
will.
Can you tell the
What-
screwdriver bit?
Oh yeah, 1 second. That was so. Me and Tim had a double date. Him and Lizzie were going over to me and my now ex-girlfriend's. It was my ex-girlfriend's place.
Yes.
And
I think that was the night she decided, like, I can't do this.
she was like, "This might not be the one." But she was like, I was like, we're making screwdrivers, and I had this whole like bit planned. I was like, hold on, can I get an actual screwdriver? And I take a screwdriver and I put it in her fridge, and like we have Tim and Lizzie come over, and like we get the vodka, we get the orange juice, we get the ice, and I'm like, dude, I think we're missing something, And I walk to the fridge, and I'm like, I pull out a screwdriver, and Tim and Lizzie not only like didn't like laugh, they were like mad at me. I was like, right? And it is also one of those things, where you try, when you write a joke earlier in the day, and as you're saying it on stage, you're like, this doesn't
not gonna
feel.
work.
Yeah.
I had every feeling where I was
You
just
knew
like, I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing works with this.
Well,
This
he
is a
brings
stinker.
me up. He's like, "Hey Tim, come over here. I got to show you something."
Oh
like-
yeah.
This was the big setup. Come over here, Tim. I got to show you. I'm like, "Oh hell yeah!" And he opens up the fridge, and the screwdriver's just sitting in there. And like, I'm not putting it together. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty spacious."
I'll tell you what.
It's a great fridge.
Here's
For
the here's the
fridge air or
problem.
whatever it's called. I'm like, that's not a lot. It's a lot of space here.
Mm-hmm.
And he was kind of like, he held it up and he's like, it says screwdriver. Still didn't get it. I was like, flatheads of that's a as old as time. Those
I
have
don't
been
usually
reliable.
keep mine in the
Yeah.
fridge, but I'm glad you got one.
I've always been a Phillips head guy, but no, I like. And he was like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, how dare? Because out of everyone to do like a kind of a
yeah,
goofball bit,
that's not your style.
it's never been our good friend Alex Dragicevich.
I think I know why. I ran the bit by Lex beforehand when we were like
Your
in
Lex
the living
girlfriend.
room.
Yeah.
My Lex girlfriend.
Known
And
ball of fun.
we were at this like point. You know, like those first few months in a relationship where literally everything's a home run.
Honeymoon
Sure.
phase.
We were laughing like really hard. I think it's because we were just.
Oh no.
We were just like.
Wait,
at
in
that-
general, at the screwdriver
at
bit?
this bit, we were laughing so,
man.
and it was just like we thought. I think at that point when you're like only with someone for a couple months, it's just everything's good and everything. You just don't. You're kind of not in reality.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is perfect. Of course, we're laughing at this. Like, we're not crazy. And I knew the second I went into the fridge, I was like, what am I doing? It was it's true, man. It
An
was
act
just,
out. You're doing like an
He
act
did
out.
a full alti act out.
it was so embarrassing.
Steve Martin would have been proud. Dude.
We can go over every bomb I've had on this podcast.
I know that it kind of is what it has been. I'm sorry.
I'm
We don't have to-
headlining Zane these days. No, but it's really I wonder if I have a harder bomb.
than that.
You never really bombed then in front like really that hard then.
No, that one was pretty bad.
I guess 300 is tough because then everyone's like,
And it was a competition, and it was like, and I probably had the most people there, like voting for me that like came and like no matter how anyone did, they would vote for me.
so you got the W anyways.
no.
Is that when they decided to redo how they do the voting? Because you bombed so hard, and they're like, he still got 80% of the vote.
Probably, it probably was a factor in it. No, So Rob beat me and beat me by a landslide, and I had
God.
most of the audience there.
That's your friends and family are in the audience. Like, look, that's my boy, but
Any
Can't give him the W.
any family?
Yeah, Maddie was definitely there. Allie and her husband Adam were probably there
Isn't
too.
there something about bombing in front of your sister that just really eats at you?
Yeah, especially because they never. Like, I've had bad sets in front of my siblings for sure, and they just don't. They're always like, "No, it was great, it was awesome," and I'm like, "Yeah, I appreciate what you're doing,
Really?
but you're wrong." Yeah.
Oh, dude, my sister's a cold-blooded dude.
she'll
So she's just
call
like,
it how it is.
nah.
She's like, mm-mm. Like after that show, she was like, it was fine.
Holy
Swear to God.
shit!
But she saw
You guys have a wild
I
family.
know.
Oh yeah,
it's-
but she saw me over at Thanksgiving and it was all like great shows.
Where at?
Or she saw me at CYSK.
Oh hell yeah!
So that was
Did
great.
any family end up coming to the Chicago theater?
No.
Sorry if that's a sore spot.
Yeah, another life bomb.
Oh my god!
My friend drove up from St. Louis to see me at the Chicago theater. My parents were in the suburbs.
Yeah, we couldn't
45
come in.
minutes.
They
To
were
the
like,
burbs.
Alex, it's 28 minutes away. No.
It
And
was so
the closer you get, the longer the time seems.
I also
We
like
get if I keep going, I'm
I
not
can
gonna
get any
get there.
closer. I'm going to get further away.
Who's
I
that?
also
Who's that guy?
Vince Moranto.
Vince Moranto.
I also
The classic
softballed it to
Toronto.
my mom when she was telling me about it. She's like, Chicago theater? I was like, yeah, remember like you
She's trying to remember what the Chicago
yeah,
theater
she's
was.
like, wow, Chicago theater. I was like, yeah, like you remember like you took me to see Wicked there, and we had got like third row. We saw the Lion King there. Remember that? Remember that theater? She was like, yeah. I was like, I'm performing at that theater, and she was like, cool, and just like.
You're
kinda
screaming.
I was trying to scream.
This means
I
a
was
lot
like,
to me.
I was like,
Please
I was
come.
like, I was
Show
like,
up.
remember, I was like 7 years old. You took me to the Lion King. That was like my first time seeing live performance.
Maybe
And it was
that's a
like
reason why I'm a performer.
Yeah,
Maybe,
and
you know?
it was just like a whole. It was like the Lion King. Remember that theater that has 3,500 people at there? I was like, I'm gonna perform there.
Drago, here's a question. Did you say the words, though?
Did you actually invite them?
Did you say,
No.
I would love it if
God.
you came and saw me perform?
I didn't.
These Eastern Europeans are different.
They are
No.
built different.
I mean, your sister, after a tough show, went,
She was
Not
like,
great.
"That's
Yeah, that was yikes.
I
that
mean,
was
holy
yikes for sure.
shit.
I think they've like my parents and also my sister at that point, like they'd been to like enough like basketball games where it was just like you can't fake if you fuck up. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I fucked up at a game, it's just like
Pretty objective.
You're with you see 10 years of games or whatever, so it's just like
Can't be like, yeah, the rim was a little weird tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't.
Just like
you
none of
just
my
can't be
shots
like-
went in.
So
the temperature in the room was a little weird.
yeah. So it's like
They kept kicking on the AC every time I got the ball. It's fucking bullshit.
Oh God! All right. Well, we'll stop making you talking about.
Yeah, we
just
dragged every
bombing. I'm
every
sorry.
body out of your closet.
Yeah.
Tom, how you been?
I've been good. I was just got to New York yesterday. Was in Providence, Rhode Island. Had the time of my life there. Bunch of Italian Catholics there, and I had heard that it's a rough town. It was the most fun ever.
Rough town, like rough blue collar town.
Yeah, like it's a mob run city.
Okay.
It's like I mean the Rhode Island accent. I can't even do it, but it is like bad Boston.
I've never seen you do an accent. Can you do? You got any chops?
Not I can do you.
You do a
I
pretty good
literally-
Chinese accent.
I do.
Indy. You do that in your act a lot.
Yeah, yeah, I do. That's mostly on stage though. I save that for public areas. My best impression is you, easily.
That's pretty.
It
fair.
is always. I'm always like kind of astounded when someone has me down. My boy Nate has me down too, pretty well.
Give us your best
Yo.
Drago.
Yo, Schneem. Yo.
Wait, let's give you a scenario.
This is me. All right, this is me in my room. I've done this before on a podcast, but this is me in my room when we were roommates. Alex is in the room next to me. I'm working during the day. I have a normal job. I have headphones on. I'm working. I hear a knock on my door. Before I can answer, door opens. And it's a knock and open. And he goes, yo, Schneem. Yo, got to run a little premi by you. You got time? Oh, are you working? All right. Hit me up. I'm gonna do a little porch hang. Hit me up. We'll get a little music going. I'm gonna get a little porch hangy going. I got to run a little premi by you. And I'm like, Alex, it's 1 p.m. and I'm working. Get out of my fucking room.
It's true.
And you had, I don't know if you still have this day job, but it was the best scenario I've ever seen. At that point, you were working for about 25 minutes in the morning.
Yeah.
And then writing all day.
Yeah, I got more. They kind of caught on. They caught on.
Because that was incredible.
They started tossing me more work, so it's back to
Your
corporate
typical 3 hour
corporate
day.
Alex. Yeah, I'm back to I'm back to working. So, but it's still the same gig.
Yeah.
Got the same sales rep to work with.
Give us a Drago where he realizes he's in a situation he doesn't love.
Yeah. I'm out. That's one thing I do love about you. When you're not enjoying yourself, you kind of make it clear to everyone else. I will chameleon my way into some of the worst hangs of my life because I can't exit. I can't leave. And sometimes you do this on dates too, you've told me. Like, you will exit.
The problem is, man, in this life, like you really sometimes you're at you're at like a club or you're at some like function and they're like, that's over there, that's someone you gotta know. And I'm just like, why? Why do I
don't gotta know him.
What do you mean I gotta know him? No, I'm like, oh, I talked to that guy for like 5 minutes. He was a total fucking dickhead. Like, they're like, no, like he's like he can fucking really do. He's important. And you're just like, no, he's a dickhead. And I can't get when I viscerally don't like someone, I can't get past if someone can do something for, or if someone's. I don't want any relationship with anyone that like doesn't, that I don't seem to, and I think that's hurt me in the long run. But yeah, but I really.
You're reflecting. You came in strong, and then you're like, yeah, I think I should.
No,
I think I
it's
should
really-
change my ways.
But I think there really is a insane amount of like genuinely just pretending to like people. I think in this industry, and it's really like to me it's like it's hard by the year to do it like more, like to do it more and more.
You certainly don't hide it well at all, which I always appreciate because it's a lot of like inhaling through your teeth and nodding your head no.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I'm out.
Dude.
And you hit a famous Drago pause right before it too. Yeah,
And he's a friend, but like, dude, Harris Alterman at a show last week was like, "Hey man," he goes, "Hey dude, I'm filming this sketch. Like, do you want to be in my sketch next week? And he's like, I was like, oh, what am I doing? He's like, it's actually a non-speaking role, but like you kind of have to. We kind of flash on you for a second, just like 5 seconds, but it'd be cool if you came through. And I was like, oh no, thanks. I was like, he's like, what? I was like, well, on like because he said it was on a Sunday. And I'm like, you just want me to come over
NFL playoff Sunday.
Yeah, I was like, you want me to come over on a Sunday and do like an hour to just wherever Bed-Stuy and like for like a non. He's like, yeah. I was like, nah, not really. He goes, and he was like trying to make he tried to make a quip out of it. He was like, well, thanks for being honest about it. I was like, yeah, of course, dude. Like, no. I was like, why would anyone
Anytime, brother,
truly didn't consider it?
who would want to do that?
This is a really bad offer that you're throwing out there.
I love that in Harris's mind, he didn't even consider you would say no. You're like, no, man. He's like, great. Yeah, so it's Sunday at like 1. You're like, no, I said no.
No, yeah, it's like your sketches are awesome. I think you're really talented, but it's like, no, I'd rather like watch, the fucking the Dolphins play.
Wait, what was that? What was that joke you used to tell about you did improv in college? And you're like, yeah, so I'm just a tree.
Oh,
I used to like that.
Oh yeah,
joke.
I had I think it was like I think I just had like a tweet where someone was like, it was a tweet where
like, I don't do improv because one time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't do improv because. Oh yeah. I forget. Yeah. But one time I was doing it in an improv, like in like a drama class. We did an improv game, and someone like during the improv game, you have to yes and everything, and someone was just like, "What's that tree doing?" And I just like had to act like a tree.
Yeah, you can't be like, no, wait, that idea
Also,
sucks. I don't want to be a tree.
Yeah, that's the least creative person ever. They just saw a tall guy and they were like, tree.
Damn, all arms,
It's so
tree.
true.
What's
though.
that tree doing there? That's a normal
Dude,
sentence.
my
usually say.
class like got a huge kick out of it because like as the scene went on, and I just
You had to be a tree.
and no one was addressing me. People were just walking by me, like being like, "Wow, it's weird. There's trees here."
You should do that on stage. Do that bit.
I love
Maybe,
that.
yeah.
Not
joke.
the tree thing, but that story.
That would be funny.
I really
actually.
loved that.
It's
joke.
very funny. It's very goofy.
No man, I've had I don't. Yeah. Why am I? Yeah, doing this. I don't know. But
This podcast?
no, stand up.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm a little too like self-hating sometimes, or like just like too down in the dumps. Dude, the people.
You've
that,
been
I
more
saw you-
jolly on stage.
I just saw you have the time of your life in Fort Collins. We had so much fun.
and I was sick, dude. You called me out on that. That was tough.
Yeah, you sounded pretty bad, but you were having fun and you murdered
Thank you, man. You too. You were
with a
great,
little
dude.
local riff too up top. It was killer.
Yes, got one. I'm posting it soon. I
was
actually
gonna
wanted.
say,
I,
yeah,
actually- I
you're
wanted
gonna-
to tell you about it. I didn't do the riff properly when you filmed.
Oh,
it.
did you fix it for Denver Underground?
I had like the third show at Denver Underground. I know you're gonna be so. I knew you were gonna be pissed.
I don't care that you're not using my camera.
I don't know,
Hey,
dude.
what the fuck, dude? I filmed that too.
Yeah, I got this. I got a little heat. I got a nice little riff out
A
of it.
local riff.
Oh, it
I've
was
never
very
seen
fun.
a local riff go worse than the youngest man alive right here, Thomas
Ooh,
Schnee.
Yeah,
in a
Waterloo.
little town called
Wait, hold on.
Dubuque,
Before we move
Iowa.
on, can you give me a real bomb before we did?
Oh
our bombs?
yeah, true.
I mean, I've had a ton of bombs. You guys saw me in Chicago.
I haven't seen
Here's
you
what you
bomb
did.
that
You did a
hard.
really good job
Oh.
of keeping a low profile for like 5 years, and then all of a sudden you were just killing everywhere. I think you kind of properly, like, very meticulously,
came up.
kind of curated your act, and then you just had this fucking heater 20, and then nobody really. It was just nobody saw you bomb for like 2 years.
I
Yeah.
don't know, dude. I was turning in shit all over town.
In Chicago, I don't know.
Right?
I mean, here for sure. I don't know why I said it like that.
Oh yeah, Pine
Like
Box.
in Chicago, no, dude. I mean, everywhere else for sure, but in Chicago,
Chicago,
I
you
never
were
saw.
fine.
I never saw you taken. Oh, actually, I do remember. The only one thing I do remember about Tim was we did such a bad show together in like the middle of nowhere, Illinois. Well, it was like some brewery. Remember we did that brewery?
Oh yeah.
And this audience was so bad. It was literally those 2 tables full of people to the left and the right, and then we had this middle table of 10 women. Okay,
Uh-oh.
10 like middle-aged women, and the show was bad. Everyone was bombing. And then Tim goes up and is supposed to do. I'm doing 30. He's doing 15. So I'm like, hey, let's go do this show. And everyone's bombing. So Tim bombs for 5 minutes, and then the classic standard in stand-up is like, no crowd work until like the headliner.
Oopsies.
Tim just full on berates this fucking audience. He's like, "What are you guys doing?" They're like, "We're teachers." He's like, "I bet you are, you sluts," or whatever. He's just like, he just calls them all like ugly sluts. Or whatever.
There was nothing. I remember that there was nothing clever about it at all. I was so angry. So I'm just absolutely going in, and I happen at one point. It's kind of like you're looking around, and Drago's like off in the wings, and he's like,
It was, it was one of those two where Tim is like murdering for 7 minutes, and then 7-8 minutes he gets them with this like crowd work shitting on them, gets the light, goes back into material bombs, and he goes, all right.
dude, we get back in the car after Drago goes dead serious. He goes, dude, you should listen to this podcast. It's called Why I'm Quitting Comedy.
It was because then I go up after Tim just like really just fucking reamed into these people.
And I'm like, you're gonna love your headliner, thanks.
And then of course it's like 2019 or it's just like so I'm just like I don't have 30.
Well, you don't have like the chops either to just like run, just like roll off that,
or to like riff through it, or to
Even at that point too, like
I kind of train wrecked that.
Even if I knew how to,
That was bad.
there was even doing crowd work for them would have lasted 5 minutes, and then what for me? I would have been cooked anyway. But Tim was so angry too. It was just like they're like, damn, this guy's fucking pissed at us too.
I really was. It wasn't like cute, lighthearted crowd work. I was literally only attempting to be mean.
And I
I guess it's getting laughs. I don't know. I didn't. Really
It was one of those things where you're halfway through it and you're like, I shouldn't have started down this path.
Oh yeah.
Because then I can't be like, I'm in love or anything. I can't like get out of it with
My
that.
girlfriend and I just made 8 years.
So just. Yeah, that's the only part of that joke that's ever changed. It's just the number. I'm like, dude, I wrote some new. It's now 11
We
years.
just hit 11. I've been waiting a year for this.
And then for the 6th time on this podcast, I bombed. I bombed.
I had a couple. I remember a bomb I had where I was coming off of two. You know when you go in too confident where you're like, I kind of been cooking this weekend. So you don't put as much thought into the set going on stage until you really get out there. You'd be like, I got this thing clocked. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And so you start off with some absolute poo-poo riff, and so they hate you now. And you're like, well, I got 20 left of absolutely tanking. I did this at the old comedy bar, and I remember that I got off, and the headliner was like, you know, man, just keep your head up. It was one of those kind of just. It wasn't like and then the headliner went out and just absolutely torched him. So you just knew it was my fault.
The words of encouragement before you've even discussed it with anyone.
Just ignore me.
Oh yeah, I mean, or give me a gun.
Yeah.
Like
don't pat me on the back.
God, it's tough.
Do you know what riff I never got? When you get off stage and you kill. And someone goes, get him next time. I never understood that because I was like, because sometimes you do really well and other people will be like, that was good. Or like it's like a very like, it's such a, what's the word I'm like looking for? It's like,
hack.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like what?
Insecure?
Yes.
Because I read that as insecurity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like you have, it's like him. It's like the person letting you know, like I know it went well, but I'm gonna pretend like it didn't because we're being funny.
Well, we can
also,
joke about it, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to just give you a genuine.
I don't want to say
also.
Good job.
No, I was saying I was actually thinking of subjective. It's such a subjective read on a show. Sometimes you can be getting off stage and be like, oh, I think that went pretty well, but then someone's saying, oh, you'll get it next time. You like for a second, you're like, oh wait, did I just bomb? You know what I'm saying? I'll think that sometimes.
Yeah, it's like just say good job.
Yeah, especially because unless it's like the best set of your life, you could still also hate something about it.
Right.
So it's just
Key in on that one joke
Great
that went like okay.
Yeah, exactly. The one new thing you tried.
I absolutely hate that.
All right, we gotta get into some zeros here. I think.
Drago, you got any
I got
true
one.
zeros?
You go first.
I got one that's like it's kind of a fun zero, but it is a zero. So I'm flying Southwest because everything's. I mean, my life's sick, and we're in line, and this guy, the Southwest setup is you're numbered, You're A42 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like B49. I'm in a tough spot already. I'm kind of annoyed.
Economy.
This guy comes and goes next to me. He goes, "Are you 49?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hey, 49. I'm 48."
Oh man.
Ooh.
And this is at 4:55 in the morning.
No.
My flight leaves at 5:15, so
Nope.
it's like before 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Hey, 48. I'm 49, and I was like, "Great." And then we're standing there, and he looks at his ticket, and it's silent in the line. Everyone hates their life, and he looks at his ticket. He goes, "Wait a second. I'm 45." He's announcing it to everyone.
Oh.
He goes up, the four people, he goes, "Are you, what are you?" And she goes, "I'm 46. He goes, "Hey, 46, I'm 45.
Oh, man.
And it's bombing in a way that is like uncomfortable.
I'm
for
picturing
everyone.
I'm picturing a guy in his like early 40s, a small portly man,
You're spot on.
shirt
with
tucked
a
in,
with a high backpack.
high backpack
Yeah.
on. He's kind of got, it's like, it might not be Velcro shoes, but they might as well be.
Yeah, they're probably New Balances. No offense. Oh, you're wearing Box. Huge.
Box.
I'm wearing New Balances.
But they're bad New Balances. And so this is amazing because he's already. I'm like literally typing into my phone already. I'm like, perfect, 0 of the week. I didn't have one yet.
Yeah. Keep it
Thank
up,
you.
bud.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
And then we're stuck on the jetway for a second.
Again?
And man, you are one pathetic loser. And there's a family in between me and him, and I'm watching this guy like a hawk. And he's kind of looking around, and he's literally trying to make conversation with everyone. And there's a dad, and he starts talking to this dad, and he has like a 2 and a 3-year-old, like little kids. And the little kid just goes, like the 3-year-old, he just goes, "Whoa, he's old."
Love that.
And the guy looks at him and got offended. And the dad started apologizing and stuff. And I was like, come on.
What does
that's
he say
so
in that
fun.
apology? "Oh, I'm so sorry. He's 3.
Well, he just goes, hey, stop.
He's a
stop
3-year-old.
talking."
They say
But
stupid shit.
It was like instant karma, and I loved seeing it. This guy was being such a loser in line, and then a little kid dunks on you out of nowhere.
I kind of love that no one even gave him the fake laugh. No one was like, "Oh, yeah, hey, we're next to each other." It was all like, "Not now."
I was probably the
dickhead.
closest to giving him a fake laugh.
And what you gave him this? You gave him the
I
nod.
was like, yeah.
You're like,
'Cause he's like, hey, 49, I'm 48 or whatever. And I was like, nice.
yeah,
All right.
man.
It was brutal. It was some 0.
I got one. I don't know if this actually counts as a 0, but it's a similar vibe of like, what are we doing with this interaction right here? This
Yeah.
interaction stinks. I don't love it.
Right.
You know, so I'm doing the classic. You got to buy, when you're dating a woman, sometimes you have to go buy feminine products
Sure.
for said woman. And I'm in line holding tampons.
Sure.
And the guy next to me, he's kind of like, I see him, he looks at him and he looks back up at me like, whoa.
Oh, shut the fuck.
Kinda
Oh,
like-
my God.
And I could tell he wanted to be like, "Are those for you?" Or he wanted to do the Departed
Yeah.
line, "Are you on your period?" or something like that.
Right,
and I think he
right.
wanted me to look at him and be like, "Can you believe this shit?
Women.
Can you believe I have to buy this shit?" So he like looked at me for like an extended period of time, and then I just didn't give him any. I just kept it moving.
Oh, so he didn't throw a ref.
Oh.
He did, but when someone's really looking at you because he saw him, he made the look,
And he did the look.
and he did the kind of like, "Can we believe this is happening right now?"
Yeah, that stinks. It might have been the same guy.
And I'm out on this. I'm not even starting this interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm paying $4 for this, and I'm going home. And I'm going to
Yeah.
kiss somebody that loves me. No one loves you. I know this. You fuck.
All right, you got a 0?
I think I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep the trend to me. I was kind of a 0 this week.
There
No,
we go.
all right. We've both been zeros
I'm not
as well.
mad at this.
I had a absolute 0 move this week.
Oh, let's hear it.
I went out with this gal I went out with the girl December 20th. I remember the date because it was like the week leading up to Christmas. December 20th. The date is going well. Go to the bar, right? And I'm like, so we start the date at 7:30, end the date at so the date's ending at 9:30. I go, "Oh, this has been great. Really nice to meet you." She goes, "Don't you want to go to another bar?" I'm like, "All right, cool." Go to another bar. The date, like, we go from 7:30. We stay out till like 12:30. I'm like, this is
Right.
a good date. Here's the thing. Now we got Christmas coming up, New Year's coming up. I'm trying to get my life together. I just kind of put things off for about 3.5. I asked her out again last night.
Is that bad?
Out of the blue, have you guys been talking at all?
Haven't been talking in 26 days.
Has she been hitting you up and you've been ignoring?
Nope.
Oh, then I think
No,
you're in the
I don't
clear.
think that's not a zero move.
I don't know if that's
not
zero.
a zero move. If she's been, if you ignored her,
I asked her out, and I said, "Hey, let's get another drink sometime." Full stop, stiff armed me. She said, "Hey, long time. ... No talk! ! I'm actually,
Drago, I think you might be reading
along
this
the
one
lines
wrong.
of,
I'm tossing zero behavior at her.
Me too.
No.
Yes.
Oh, it's not over?
I texted a couple gal pals, and I was like, I texted Kate, our friend Kate Ferrara,
Okay.
your friend.
Yeah.
I know Kate.
Yeah.
I texted this girl I used to hook up with, and I texted my other friend Kira. Got
Did
three
you text
girls.
3 girls that you used to fuck?
No.
Okay.
2.
No.
That's the zero move. You're texting 2 girls you used to fuck about a new girl you're trying to fuck.
Oh,
Why does he keep doing this to me?
We're past that. We're past.
They get a text, they're like, "Ooh, it's Alex."
No,
It's about another
these
girl.
girls.
No, they're over him for sure.
They're
but
over me. But
I don't know.
all 3 of them were like, if you wait longer than a week to ask a girl out, it's criminal.
But what are you supposed to do? Ask her out the day after Christmas?
Exactly.
I think
Maybe should have been checking in a little bit more.
maybe you could have gone a soft touch a couple times. I hope you had a good
I could have
Christmas.
tapped.
Yeah.
I could have tapped. I could have
Just keep it warm.
How's your New Year's?
Yes, exactly.
like
How was your
yeah, you
Christmas?
just went. You jumped. I thought it was gonna be way worse. To be honest, when you said zero, I thought you were gonna say you threw out like a late night text or something like that, like a you up type situation.
No.
Which is great. I mean, I think it's fair that she's like, it's been too long, we're done. But I also don't think
I think she'll
it's
come
a-
around. 5-hour date?
I mean, that's a fun date.
5-hour date?
Can I tell you something, man? I thought I was like, that's what gave me the confidence to be like, I can sit on this for a little.
Because it's the complete opposite to her. She goes 5-hour date.
I'm going to hear from this guy tomorrow.
Exactly.
This is how it turns out. This
But
is
you're like, that was good for at least a month.
like, oh, yeah. She'll be into this for a while.
I blame the holidays because I would have asked
It's a
her out.
tough
I would have
time.
asked her out like the next week or.
See, I love what a dog you are with this kind of stuff, Drago. Drago was telling me about a date that he went on this chick with, and he's like, she barely spoke English. We like had a real tough time communicating, and I'm like, what? Why'd you go on a date with him? As I'm asking this question, he's pulling up a photo of her, and he just shows me, and I'm like, yeah, you kind of got to go on a date with her.
Russian.
Whoa.
That girl was Russian.
That's-
She was. Yeah.
Was it? I mean, you've got an Eastern European thing going.
I can. Yeah. Yeah. I'm Eastern. I'm Serbian. She was Russian.
How was the
She-
Were you guys just like drawing pictures,
She.
passing them back and forth?
2 words, 5 syllables.
She kind of explained to me the Russian side of the Ukraine war, and I kind of was like, she kind of made some points, you know.
Well, and what could you elaborate on that? What is
No.
what is the Russian side of the Ukraine war?
No,
now
no,
we're
no,
doing your
no.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's
You're an
just
idiot.
basically Putin's the man.
Yeah, that's literally what she's like. Actually, a lot of people like Putin, and I was like, really? I was like, he's not like a mobster or anything like that. Then no, like she's like, no, like people like he's like really unified the country, and I was like, oh, well, this is okay, and I kind of played along with it.
I love that.
She was actually saying, "I'll have the burger," but you just
Dan's
weren't
like,
understanding.
Yeah, Putin's a pretty decent guy.
Yeah. She's like, I want to leave. I was like, Putin. She's like, I've been here too long.
You're like, that's actually
Putin's
a
good.
really good point about Kiev.
Guess I didn't think that. I guess when you put it through that lens, that is a good point. She's like leaving the bar.
I was like, Nastya Lukin, 2015, 2016.
Drago, I don't know. I don't think that makes. I don't think that's a pure zero move. Maybe you could handle it a little bit.
The gal
a little
pal
bit more
said
delicately.
They were like, that's fucked up. All
man,
three of them were like,
All right,
fucked
well,
up.
write us a note and
Is that
tell us which
how-
Drago
is
bomb
20
you like the most.
which Drago bomb was your favorite? Because I honestly, I did the 26 days is kind of wild, but
I mean, the holidays are a little bit of a free zone.
Yeah, I think that buys you a ton of time.
That's like
I
at
thought
least
it
a
bought
week.
me. I thought it bought me. Yeah, so
So now we're looking at 18 days. That's not the right
All
math.
right. So if we went out.
19
I think you have
Alright.
a little more cushion.
I'm
than that,
looking at.
though,
I'm
'cause
looking at
there's
my
downtime.
I'm looking at my calendar.
There's in between. There's in
Yeah.
between
If
We
holiday
got cozy
time,
pre-Christmas time.
travel time.
Okay,
Yeah.
if we went out December 20th, I probably should have texted her January 7th.
And what is this math based on?
He's like, well, I was booked a lot the week before.
Maybe
Had a couple
It's like,
spots.
was hanging with the boys a lot.
actually maybe January 2nd.
It might have
How
been-
was your New Year's?
It might have been December 21st. Might be the date that you're looking for.
It was December 21st.
No, I'm.
No, that you should have
that
hit her
you
up.
should
Oh,
have
that
hit
I
her
should
up.
have texted
Might
her?
have been next day situation. 5-hour
Really?
date.
5 I don't know. The next day? 'Cause
Man,
then-
well, that
is
week,
that still a thing in dating where you're like, you don't want to look too desperate?
yeah,
Or are
Yeah.
people like,
yes,
fuck it?
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
okay,
no,
okay.
for sure. Still,
I guess that never. Looking desperate's never coming back in style.
The idea
no, nowadays it's kind of sick to be like really annoying about it.
girls really don't want the small talk. They don't want to be like, "Oh, work
Well,
was great,"
thank
especially
God.
especially when you don't like know them that well or whatever. Like, they don't want to be like, "Yeah, work was great. How are your shows? Oh, great." They'd rather just be like, "Hey, do you want to go out?" Like,
I got you.
Okay.
I was going to say, as a man that's been out of the game for quite a while, if there's no small talk and you don't know this person,
yeah,
what are you talking
Then
about?
why am I texting you? Yeah.
right. So that's why I held
It's
off.
just
for
you hit
20
him with the
minutes.
hard, like,
couple soft touches could have helped.
hope you had a good New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a Merry Christmas. A couple of things in
Merry
there.
Christmas or whatever, and I'm gonna get ahead of this. I'll hit you Jan
I
7.
don't know. I'll talk to you later.
I thought
well, where's
the
this
second
thing
bar
left?
was big, right?
Yeah, it sounded like a great date. That's not the
5-hour
issue.
date. That's a
Yeah.
long time.
Long time. If she didn't like me, she would have left.
Did you guys smooch?
No, I couldn't do it.
Why?
I didn't have it. Because I honestly,
Why?
I didn't, because I honestly didn't think I was killing that hard. I didn't think I was doing, I didn't think I was like doing that great.
She
but
gave you a 5-hour
but then
set.
she said, let's
she,
go to the
she
next
said
bar.
you'll get him next time.
I know, she said, well, let's go to the next bar. And I was like, really? I'm kind of bombing right now. That's very odd. Not, I didn't say that out loud, but I was like, I'm kind of bombing. Damn. Then I probably got in my head about bombing. I was like,
On
fuck.
dates, are you getting big pops?
Yeah, dude. I'm sorry.
Are you doing tried and true? Are you riffing?
You riffing on the room?
I really believe, I don't know how to say this exactly, but I do believe that if you go up in front of strangers every night for 7 years, you can, when you're just with someone across, you can you literally can turn it on.
Yeah.
You can too. You can too.
1,000%.
You
Sure.
can when you're like, if you go, I want to be funny for a half hour, you literally can do it. And I do feel like it's kind of a nice bonus for, ruining your life for 7 years. It's like just being like, oh yeah, when I want to make someone laugh, I can.
You are acquiring a nice little life skill.
Yeah.
The skill of being like quick and also on top of that, it's like you've been doing you know so much stand up. It's like, oh, like waiter forgot the food. Oh, here comes a Rory Scovel bit from 2012. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got that locked in later too. If I need to, I hate to do other guys' material, but whatever.
She calls you out. She's like, whoa, is that Rory?
Rory
She's
tried
like,
stand-up
Are
for
you
the
doing
first
Rory
time.
to me right now?
She's like, that was on Netflix like 3 years ago. And I'm
Didn't
like,
Jeff get called out on a date? He did. He tried to mix in one of his
Oh,
own bits.
yeah,
And
and
she
she
goes,
was
I
like-
watched your stuff
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Oh boy, that's give me the check and you'll never hear from me again material. Oh
Yeah,
Jeff.
Jeff said, I like to finish early because I want to go back to talking about your day. And that's a joke he does. And she was like, I know that joke.
I saw it on
Oh,
YouTube.
my God.
That's tough.
That's like trying to do like the hot pocket joke. Well, maybe it's not the same.
you're putting the-
Jeff
you're just
versus
throwing-
Gaffigan. Maybe that's not the perfect scenario, but
Do you want to know a
Oh,
bit
man.
I did once on a date? I think probably last summer.
absolutely, yeah.
I did Regan's.
You're just a cover band
Swear
on
to
dates?
God, swear to God, I did.
No wonder you're killing so hard on dates.
I just no.
You're
I
doing,
really,
you're doing some of the most famous
yeah,
material
I'm
in the
absolutely
world.
I don't do
destroying
this-
on
I
these
don't.
dates.
I really don't do this often, but it came up. It came up organically about it was we were talking about like talking about me playing basketball younger. Then she was like talking about sports she played. She's like, I played softball. I went into me doing. I was like, oh, I only played Little League a little bit, and then I did Regan's bit about how like I only did Little League because I just like wanted a snow cone. Do you know his bit where he's like, he's like, I'm just out there like snow cone, like so. Cause she was dying.
Oh, and you don't feel bad about this on the date? You're living in it. You're like, damn, I'm crushing right now.
I mean, I killed before and after, but
why not?
I
Well,
thought
you
of
go
a little
in the middle,
Regan.
yeah.
I thought
you
of
do
Regan.
someone else's shit in the middle.
I thought of Regan. I thought of Regan's like 03 snow cone bit, and I was like, let's toss this in there. Murdered.
I love. She's like, boy, your personality really changed there.
Yeah. She's like, why were you so much funnier for that 30 second?
I mean, Tim, if you were still in the game, you could mix in a Gaffigan here and there. You ever heard Tim Gaffigan? You ever heard his Gaffigan impression?
No.
This guy's really...
Oh, I didn't know he was going to do the voiceover.
It's unbelievable.
Yo.
He's doing Brian Regan's material.
Is he going to talk like this the whole time?
My God.
It's so good.
That's uncanny.
Yeah.
Gaffigan.
Timmy Gaffigan.
That's what I started out. That was the big shit talk against me. It was Tim Gaffigan is what they called me in Baton Rouge. You
Fuck
pieces of
Name
shit.
him.
Oh, you were doing Gaffigan when you first started?
I would imagine my
I mean, yeah, for sure.
my voice,
we all. What did you get early
You know,
on?
I did Marill.
Oh, yeah,
I did
Marill,
Marill
for
last
sure.
night.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Still doing his material, by the way. I have a date tomorrow. I've been watching his special, The Prep.
I did.
Had the date go. You're like, well, I did his 2012 Conan. That worked pretty
Yeah.
well.
I thought it'd go better though. Next time I'm doing Up on the Roof, his latest. Oh God, I'm mixing in Mulaney here and there. Middle of a date, I'm like, and that's why.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, he just got really animated. Jesus Christ.
Oh God.
We love to see that. I love hearing and you admitting that you're just fully doing people's material on dates.
Yeah, that's fun.
I
Thank
did
you for
Regan.
admitting that.
I've done Regan.
What's the move if she goes, that's Brian Regan?
You have to fess up. You have to be like, I gotta be like, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
How'd I do? Because like,
Are you a fan?
no, I can't lie to you. I really don't do it. But the Regan thing sticks out. The Regan thing sticks out. But sometimes I've done like I've felt like I definitely have been like taken from you guys on these dates too.
Oh, I've taken from Tim on stage. So
In front of
shame
me.
here.
Well, because you can just like. If something happens in an instant and when and you know a bit that's tense, you can just go, oh yeah, I did it, and there's like,
It's also better that it's so lame to be like, oh, one of my friends has a really good joke about this. And
Because
then
then they have to go, that is
cool.
good.
Yeah, I guess it's
I mean, I use lot of bread for a thin slice of ham
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah, for a bad joke, like way too much buildup. Boy, that's a lot of bread for a thin slice of ham.
Yeah.
Which was Maddie Ryan stealing from someone else.
Stealing from someone else who got that from someone else.
Yeah.
I've done Patty B's. Boy, it's a real who's who of who cares.
wow.
I've used that one
That's
before.
so funny.
I feel so guilty about it after. It'll be like a 10-minute after I hit that riff. And I'm like, hey, maybe that's my friend Pat Bullock.
I gotta kind of
With how hard this girl was laughing during Regan, I did feel bad. I was like, this is killing, like really hard. I was like, this is fucking murdering. This is kind of wild.
You just DM him. You're like, hey man,
Hey, I did snow cone.
I just gotta say thanks and I'm sorry.
Hey man, I did snow cone. I'm sorry.
I really love that. Keep us abreast on more dates that you go on where you use very, very, very famous comedians
I like
material.
that. Yeah,
Because
like one of the
that's
most
one of the
famous.
funnier things I've ever heard in my
Is that
life.
funny,
and I
dude?
never
Yeah,
knew that
it's
about you. That
hilarious.
is absolutely hilarious.
I've done it a few times. I can't say I do it all the time, but I've done it a couple times.
More times than not, you're riffing. You're asking the table next to you where they got their shirt. Shit like that. You guys from that town?
She's like, why does he care so much what everyone in this restaurant does for work?
I also think most girls go out with guys that are so unbelievably lame.
Boring.
Just boring.
And
Yeah.
you're just like, you can say, and that's the thing where it's like, I didn't think the date was going great, but the fact that she was like, let's go to another bar. You're like, oh yeah, like I am. Like you're like, oh yeah, you are like a little just you're just naturally funnier than whoever the
You had
software
4
sales
thoughts
guy.
that were like in the moment, and she was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This guy's a genius.
I play the game a lot of like this has been done on like TV shows, movies. It's so hacky and it still is always fun of like picking other couples in the restaurant and figuring out what their deal is.
Navigating their lives.
And then you can just riff on that, and all that is it's crowd work too. It's the same thing.
Do you know what I think?
And all of the attention's off of you.
And it's so fun, and almost everything hits.
Yeah. See, I'm 11 years in. I have no tricks left.
I have a very.
I haven't made Lizzie laugh in 4 years.
Do you know what icebreaker? Do you know what icebreaker is kind of weird that I do every time, but it always kind of breaks the ice and makes things looser. Is when she comes to sit down, like at the table I picked.
Whoopee cushion.
That would make me so laugh so hard.
I don't do this every time. I've done it at least 10 times though. I go, what do you think about the table? I go, what do you think about the location?
You've told me this before.
I go, what do you think about the location? She goes, oh, like what do you mean? I go, I don't know. We're kind of close to the door. She goes, and then it's an easy like. A little chuckle. I'm like, we could have sat at the bar. Are you a bar person? Did I fuck up? And she's like, no, actually not. And she's like, then she'll normally she'll just go, but I do kind of like that table over there. And you're like, boom, now
you're into something.
You're at least kind of like, I'm like, see, like I almost went there, but it's like it's a great way to be.
But it's
like,
nice because you're not going, hey, awkward hug.
Yeah,
And
like,
then sit down.
how was
Really
work?
good. Yeah.
It's a very easy way to be like, I've been here, I'm chilling. And it's like kind of like a fun way to pick. You're kind of going like, oh, this is.
You know what else? It's kind of like a conversation you would have with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you're like already at the level of like, all right, how like.
You're bonding. You're
Yeah.
making a decision together. It's
Well
huge
done,
if she
Drago.
picks a new. That's a great one.
It's great to be because you can and then you shit on the place you picked. You're like, oh man, I think this is like too close. This is weird. And she's like, no, like this is great. And then she'll go along with
No,
it.
I'm a
It's
fucking
great-
idiot.
Yeah. And then you start crying. I fucking suck at this. I suck at dating.
fucking sorry. Anyways, yeah,
sucks.
that high top is fine.
Yeah.
Ugh, Jesus Christ.
But they usually breaks the ice in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
one.
like, okay, cool. I like this. Yeah.
You've ever had them where they sit down, they're like, it's good.
Oh.
And then you're just kind of
And
like,
then
oh,
you go-
no, we're
And then he goes,
good
"It's-
here.
Yeah. Then you're
I'm
like, you
out.
suck.
I'm a.
Look, we'll do appetizers, but after that, I'm out.
I love doing this with the Drago impression. It's just the. Yeah. I'm out.
I love it.
Where
Where we at? Where we
I
at,
think we
Tomas?
got to wrap this thing. I got to go over the tiny cupboard. Speaking of bombs, the last time I was there was the worst bomb maybe of my whole life. I should have brought that up. Tim got to see it too. A pure
One of the crazier bombs I've ever seen.
pure
People
10
there?
minutes. A pure 10 minutes.
How many?
Of nothing. About 30 people in there.
Shut the fuck
Enough
up.
of a crowd, but
It
it
was-
was also weird. We had to perform for the same crowd on the earlier show, so I had to go up again, and half them were in there twice.
That was a really crazy. I'm like Drago. We're talking 0 laughs.
Tim's packing up my stuff during my set.
To be like, we have to get out of
He
here.
was
it
waiting
this
by the
was
door
One
on
of
the
those
way
things
out.
because like we had done the pod, we were over there, so like had all the film shit with. So I'm like, minute 4, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna have all this shit by the door so we can just run out of this video.
I mean, he's watching me pull out jokes, 3-year-old jokes, to be
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
be like,
hitters too.
What can I?
Absolute classics.
And it's just nothing.
going to zilch. It was
Zero.
wild.
It was crazy. I mean, I left stage being like, okay, well, that was 10 minutes. See you guys later.
And then I pretty much just put a bag over his head, tossed him in a van. We got the
Dude.
hell out of there.
I can't wait to be back. I'm going to be there in 8 minutes.
Some of these shows out here, man, there'll be 3 audience members, and then they're just gonna look around and be like, "We're gonna do it."
Oh,
You're like-
always.
You're like, "Shh."
And you're like, you don't have to.
We don't have to. We can just
I
hang
did.
out.
I did that. I there was a show run by a good dude, Josh Stokes. It just 2 people showed up, and he was like, "Do you want to go last, or do you want to?" He's like, "When do you want to go up?" And I was like, "He's like, you know, 'cause he's like, do you have to get out of here?" And I was like, "I'm not gonna do the show."
He's like, oh, you got another one to get to? And you're like, no.
He was like,
absolutely not.
He's
Go
like,
anywhere
oh,
else.
I'll come. I was like, oh, there's 2 people here, man. Come on. And he was just like, all right, yeah, I got you. And I was like, I'll see you later. And I left. I was like, I can't do a 2-person. I can't do a 2-person.
Do the show with 2 people in the audience.
Tim, I've never heard you do
It's so good. It's also so much better into a microphone. It's
so
incredible.
fucking good, dude.
Tim Gaffigan.
Timmy Gaff.
Timmy Gaffs.
All right,
do
where
any,
are you gonna be, Drago?
What do you got coming up?
Sorry.
No, you can throw one last thing out there.
I'm headlining one night at the Comedy Bar.
Let's go.
I'm headlining a Thursday at the Comedy Bar. I don't know how much time will they give me.
That's
Who
Chicago.
the fuck knows?
They'll cut it in the middle of your set.
Yeah. February 9th, I'm headlining there.
Huge.
In Chicago.
And then you're at Zany's.
Oh, wait. When are you guys releasing this?
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll throw this out this week.
Okay,
Thursday,
so
yeah.
January 19th to the 21st, I'm headlining Duck Duck Goofs in
Boston.
in Boston.
What
yeah.
a weird career
in,
we have.
in Cambridge.
But it's like that's a killer show. isn't it?
I'm there in February.
And like, yeah, if you're in Boston, please come out.
We got some Boston folks. Go see the boy, Drago.
Big, he's tall, he's very, very funny. He might even do Regan
And
for
Chicago. Yeah. Hopefully he does
I might
a little
do
bit of
snow
Regan. You're gonna close and they're gonna be like, snow. See, you're coming back on for an encore.
Oh, I love
But
that.
Chicago, for what's your Zany's
Oh yeah,
date?
I'm headlining Zany's April 3rd. I'll be fucking blasting
Zany's
that
Old
shit.
Town, baby.
April
Yeah,
3rd, Zany's.
can't wait.
Get the boys there.
Go see him. Yeah, we got a lot of people there. Timmy, where you at?
Bouncing around Chicago, Boston, the 2nd through the 4th. I think I'm doing some Minneapolis, Baltimore stuff.
Minneapolis and Baltimore?
No, Maryland and Baltimore. Is
Well,
that
Baltimore
that
is
closer?
in Maryland.
Really flubbing this part. I'm gonna be at a place. What about Baltimore and DC?
Yeah, there we go.
Is
Oh,
that
sweet? When you
I
gonna-
don't know.
when you
Are
gonna-
you there?
Those are there early April.
Saying cities.
And then back in the greatest city of the world, Chicago, Illinois, headlining the Comedy Bar, 21st and 20.
What room are you doing in B more?
I don't know, something with Jeef.
Oh, sweet.
Be more.
BM.
All right. Next week, Houston, Secret Group, and the Riot. Doing a bunch of random shit there, and then Austin. We really need Austin. This is looking rough.
Looking pretty grim.
Austin, February 3rd and 4th, Velveeta Room. I'm headlining, and it's kind of. It seems like it's on me to bring some people out.
I've heard it's
you
got the room.
The room's
do
gonna
your
be
thing
empty
with it.
unless people show up.
Well,
So-
you got the great and powerful Laura Peak with you though, right?
Yeah, she's hitting the feet.
There we go.
There we go. So Feb 3rd, 4th, and then I don't know, Portland and
Laura told me she listens
Seattle.
to this pod.
Laura does. Shout out, Laura Peak.
Shout out, Laura.
We love you, Laura.
I'm in love with you.
Well, we'll cut that part.
She knows.
She knows. She reads her DMs.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I DM her like once a week. I'm like, hey.
Oh, Laura, please don't leave your fiance for Alex Dragicevich.
I'm joking, Laura.
Please. Laura, please.
I'm joking.
Anyways, yeah, and then just Zany's. Zany's in April, April 19th. I'm headlining, and Tim will be there too. And maybe Drago will get 4 minutes so he can do snow cone.
Yeah.
You wanna come?
I'll go wherever. Wait, where is this?
Zany's, Chicago.
Oh yeah. Let me up there. I'll do snooker. I can do it good too. I know the bit too.
I know the bit frontwards and backwards. I'll absolutely drill it.
Oh, all right,
All right,
Drago.
we're outta
Thank
here.
you for doing it.
Drago,
We
you're
love
the
you.
king. Thank
You're
you
the
for coming
best.
on.
Thank
man.
you for having me.
He married my sister, now we're living together.